And we may have to look at coming up with a minimum wage. It was discussed for the budget, but I think when you look at the last rung of the civil service, sometimes you wonder how people manage to survive. Because when you look at it, the salaries they have, now, today $1,200 is, when a bag of rice is costing $900 is, how is somebody with a family, how is he going to survive with that? House rent, utilities, school fees, feeding, out of $400 is a problem. So also somebody sent me a receipt of what is paid as pension. $600 per month. These are areas we really have to look into. It may be too late for this year, but I think something can be done to make sure that people are at least able to buy a bag of rice, eat a decent meal, feed the family, and at least have some money to pay school fees and other things. But that is no excuse for anybody to steal, to say salaries are too small. So what? You have a choice. If the salary is too small, leave and find a better salary, or do something supplementary. Have a farm or have a garden in your backyard. Then it saves you the cost of buying vegetables. Rather than just spend your weekends only complaining and drinking atay or in booths where you drink other stuff. If you have your garden at the back, however small it is, you will realize that it is saving you a lot of money. But salaries are small, too small, would not be an excuse for stealing or embezzlement. So, I want to wish you all the best. And let me make it very clear to you, I'm not a monster, I'm a human being. But I will not compromise the interests of this country. Let us work together and let us be open. Let us know our limits. I mean, limits of our capabilities, and let us be clear about it and be honest about it. But nobody would be limited or restricted by limits in your capability if you work as a team, because sometimes where your knowledge ends, somebody's knowledge starts there. The person may be a junior person, but teamwork is very important. Let us share ideas. So if you think that, okay, the president, the way he's doing things is not correct, come to me. But some of you are not fair. You have your ideas, you hide the ideas to yourself, and then you go out and say, well, it's the president who can tell him. You think the president is God? I'm not God. I'm the same human being that you are. Maybe the difference may be in love for the country or dedication to the country or belief in Allah. But we are all human beings. And I'm open to all ideas. That is why always I believe in discussion. If I were a person who doesn't take advice of other people's opinion, then I wouldn't have a cabinet. That's the reality. Or if I have a cabinet, every day I write to the ministers to say, this is what you should do for the day. I don't do that. Have I ever written to any of you as MDs to say, this is what you are supposed to do? If I have, raise your hand. Sometimes even for sometimes, in fact, most of the time for the members of the board, I don't select the members. You send a list, and if I have objection to any person, I say this is out of the question. But I have never sat down to say, oh, MD so-and-so, this and this and this are going to be your members of your board. Most of the time, members of the board are selected by you. So if I were the person who doesn't take other people's views, you think I will allow you to appoint or select members of the board, knowing the importance of board members? But I also want the Minister for Presidential Affairs and the Secretary General to call all boards one by one. If a board is going to be a rubber stamp board, we're going to dissolve it. Because if the board does its work, most of the problems that we face in some of the institutions wouldn't be there in the first place. Sometimes we have seen instances where it's only the board chairman that is aware of something, and they write that you have the approval of the board, and that's it. Most of the time you get away with it. Sometimes you are unlucky, and then you face the consequences. Remember also, securing the approval of the entire board would save you from a lot of trouble. So don't try to circumvent things by just going to one person and they say, okay, I'll tell the rest of the board. Boards also have to have regular meetings with the management of the institution for which they are a board of directors. A visit as a board only to drink coffee and go, hey, you're doing well, because we want allowances. That is not going to happen. Many a time we have caused to give directives for the dissolution of a board that is non-performing. You have a board also where they have never had a quorum. 2, 3 people meet, oh yes, yes. Others are absent, and then we give them allowances. We pay allowances for attending the board meetings. If you don't attend, you are not entitled to an allowance, even though you are part of the board that sat down. But how many of you are ready to implement that? So, the board does something bad, you ignore it, members of the board, and they also do something bad, the members of the board also. So this is mutual connivance to do evil to the country. It's unacceptable. So let us be very clear. 2013, you know, I think the Inca or the Mayans said that 20th of December, I think 20-something of December was going to be the end of the war. 21st. You think they are wrong? They are right. For some countries and for humanity, they are right. It's the end of people accepting injustice, hegemony from other powers that think that they have a God-given right to rule Africa. But also, that is the end of maslaha as far as my government is concerned. There will be no maslaha from us from henceforth. I said it before, that if people think that I have changed, I have not changed. I'm the same Yahya Jammeh who came in 1994. I believe in letting people do what they can do, letting them to be free and see what they can do, and then take off from there. I have seen that if you are too tolerant, maslaha, nothing gets done. Oh, the president is going to Kanilai. Oh, what a nice time for us to close early. Are you working for the president? We used to send what we call civil service inspectors, civil servants inspectorate. They go around, they bring a book, and then all the workers sign. When you come into work, you sign it, and then later they bring it to me to see. I as honorable and God-fearing people, do you have